It works. You don't go by Langston, do you? I did hear that.
Alright, hey, grab your waters and come on over. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short.
Volleyball association.
Yes.
I could get one.
Okay, so now what we're gonna introduce, and this isn't gonna take very long. All right, for the rest of the session, you're on the first ball that you're hitting over the net, whether you're on offense or on defense, it has to be a shot. Okay, that's going to be the only limitation. All right, we're going to kind of once we get back to our courts, we're going to go through some kind of different hand contacts and stuff like that. So far, the only thing that we've really talked about with kind of JM's talk that he had yesterday is really finding a way to keep that ball on your right shoulder. That's still really important. So if I'm here and I want to hit that ball over on my right shoulder and JM is doing the same thing back to me, that hand contact, that same spot is going to be very important. All right? Right now, all we've talked about is really trying to go through the ball. So that's kind of like what we call an attack. So any hit that's maybe 60, 80%, 90%, 100%. All right? Now what we're going to introduce is the idea of high lines and cut shots. And when we do that, we're not going to be hitting the ball as clean. And what I mean by that is it's not going to feel like we're really putting our whole hand on this ball. One of the things that I like that we talk about here is we can act like the ball is a clock. Okay? And whenever we're doing shots, we need to manipulate where we're touching the ball on this clock. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when JM and I are going back to this, maybe I'm going for the first round, maybe I'm going to play around with hitting the ball at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all right? And I can just see what it feels like to have all of these different locations.
Just a quick key on this too, I like to draw a little chicken's foot. And this chicken's foot is just like the minutes hand on a clock. So if I go out to the side here, that's close to like 2:30 on a clock. 3 o'clock will be straight across. So if I face 2:30, I'm gonna try to hit 2:30 on the ball. That'll get it back to Brandon. That'll get it back to center. So I'm out here, 2:30, boom, right back to Brandon.
Yep. Here.
I'm gonna try 3 o'clock.
We're just playing around with this. So we're just trying to figure out how do we manipulate this ball to get it to go where we're going. Right. I know I was talking to Lee yesterday, and a person that we were talking about was Adrian Carambula. I think if you don't know who he is, he's the defender for one of the Italian teams, and he does a really, really good job of trying to manipulate this ball. All right. And what I mean by manipulate is it's not always going to be kind of that strong contact. We're going to start hitting the ball not on its true center, knowing that we're going and we're trying to put this ball into a new location. So if I want to try and hit the other way, now I can start playing around with like the 11, 10, 9 o'clock. All right, so I can do that, and I'm trying to put that spin on the ball, try to get it to go in different locations.
Still the line drill, so I'm still trying to contact the ball on the line.
It's really easy to windshield wipe on this one. Try to keep that ball on your right side as best as you can when you're going for that touchdown.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
One of the things that, especially when we're going for high lines and cut shots, is that we try to get that, so kind of what Allie was talking about, we change our arm swing completely, where a lot of times we'll bring that elbow forward and it turns into a push. We don't want to do that, okay? We still, our job, if I'm on the other side of the net, James, my defender, the easiest way for me to score when I'm trying to do a high line or a cut shot is I need to convince him first that I'm going to attack, right? That means that he has to respect me, and then at the last second, I can do a different shot, a different angle of this attack to put it into a new location. But if I don't convince him that I'm coming in strong, making sure that my approach looks the exact same every single time, then now JM's going to be able to put himself into a position to take away my shots. Does that make sense?
I call this a sell too. He needs to sell to me that he's going straight away, and when I'm sold, I'm like, awesome, and then he pulls a fast one.
So once you get back to your courts, your coaches are going to reintroduce this idea of the chicken foot and playing around with having these different contact points. Something that I really like to do whenever I'm thinking about hitting a high line or I'm hitting a cut shot is I really try to hit this ball quick, and I try to get my hand as high as I can, as quick as I can. All right, I don't want to contact the ball down here, all right, and make it a push. Okay, so whenever you're done, I think like when we talk, a lot of times Mark will talk about when Steph Curry shoots the ball, he holds that to finish. Okay, when you're doing that high line, it's okay to hit that high line and leave that hand up for a little bit. Okay, if you notice that you're coming through, then that's a different type of swing. Okay, so, and it's okay if you want to do that. There are different ways to hit high lines, different ways to hit cut shots. Just make sure you're playing around with what does it feel like to do every single one. All right, once we're good there, then let me get Allie and JM, you guys are here, Matt, you're over here. Caleb, you're here. All right, and all we're gonna do is, there's gonna be a ball cart on this side of the court. Caleb, you're up to the net blocker. Let's say the first round, JM has to hit a high line. Okay, so Matt knows that JM's hitting a high line. He's going to be in the cross court. Caleb is not allowed to pull. Okay, remember, the first contact on both sides has to be a shot. Okay, so when JM hits his first ball, it has to be a high line. When Matt hits his first ball, it has to be a high line. So this is what it'll look like. Pass, set, high line. For this drill, we're going to act like Matt's a really good defender, and if he knows that it's a high line, he's going to 100% dig the high line. Sorry, that was a really good up, but
That blocker's got to slow that down for you, I think.
so Matt's going to see it. He's like, oh, JM's going to hit a high line. I'm going to go there. Good. Now Matt going to hit a high line.
Smash.
And now we can
Oh, yeah.
Get him, Allie.
Calibrating. All right. So once we get into those
Low line.
situations, your coaches are going to put you into a certain restriction. First ball has to be a high line. First ball has to be a high line. Second ball has to be a cut shot, whatever. And then we'll keep working our way into live play, where for the rest of this session, the first side out has to be a shot. The first dig and hit has to be a shot as well. After that, we'll go live. Okay? Sound good?
Drop.
All right. Let's get better.
Woo.